This week at Bungie, we prepare for Grandmaster. For years, we've been fighting to keep the last city and its people safe. Our latest efforts off-world to keep Cabal leaders from strengthening Kaido's war council have been fruitful, but sometimes the danger is closer to home than you'd think. If you haven't seen the cutscene that went live on Tuesday, we won't spoil it for you. All we'll say is that what's happening will not be taken lightly. For the TWAB, this week we have a refresher on Grandmaster Nightfalls for the new lights out there, a preview for some Stasis tuning coming next week, and results for our Festival of the Lost Armor Ornament vote. Let's get to it. Grandmasters of the Universe, are you ready for a challenge? Starting on March 16th, Grandmaster Nightfalls become available. Never heard of a Grandmaster Nightfall before? No problem, let's get you up to speed. Strike difficulty set to 1350, minimum power required is 1325, contest mode is enabled, so even if you go higher than 1325, you will be capped. Each strike will have a specific set of modifiers to ramp up the difficulty, so make sure to inspect each one to know which champions you'll face and what other challenges await you. One Grandmaster Nightfall will be available each week until April 20th. Starting April 20th, you'll have the opportunity to blaze through all available Grandmaster Nightfalls through a direct launch playlist. If you miss a week, the final 3 weeks of the season are your opportunity to catch up. This season will also be your first opportunity to earn Adept weapons through a PvE activity. While Shadow Price, Palindrome, and the Swarm have been available when completing lower difficulties of Nightfalls, Adept versions will only be available through Grandmaster difficulty. These weapons grant additional stat bonuses when masterworked and can be socketed with Adept weapon mods. You can earn these mods in Trials of Osiris, and you'll be able to earn them through Grandmaster Nightfalls as well. Additionally, this will be your first opportunity to earn a gilded version of the Conqueror title. If you see someone sporting this in a few weeks, know they went through an ordeal to earn it. Well, not just one, but many. Now's the time to form a fire team and start strategizing how you'll work together to overcome the challenge. Smoke bombs might come in handy when things look dire, or a well-placed Nova bomb to eliminate some champions that have been stunned near each other. Word on the street is that the Cult of Aeon is rising up through the ranks, helping Guardians to keep their ammunition stocked up during the fight. We're excited to see what strategies you create in the face of challenge, and to see what sweet loot you claim from the hands of your enemies. Eyes up, Guardians. Patch note previews. Over the last few weeks, numerous teams throughout the studio have been working on bug fixes ranging from strikes to sandbox. Our current target for Destiny 2 Update 3.1.1 is next Tuesday, March 16th. While this isn't the largest patch we've shipped, we're excited to get these fixes out in the wild. Additionally, we made a commitment to some balance passes for Stasis in the Destiny 2021 update, The Road to the Witch Queen. We had a few notes on how we'll be tuning the Titan Behemoth, Hunter Revenant, and Warlock Shadebinder subclasses. Destiny 2 Update Preview for March 16th patch. Strikes. Fallen Saber. Fixed an issue where the strike boss would not spawn until all players were alive and present. Improved objective waypoint behavior. Fixed some grammatical errors in player directive text. Fixed a bug where a fireteam member entering the area late could cause the war set falling visual effects again. Fixed an issue where Zavala's dialogue in the first area could play multiple times. Fixed a bug where a fallen energy shield could be sticking out of a wall. Devil's Lair. Sepix Prime now has a boss health bar. Fixed some floating environmental objects. Fixed an issue where some monster spawn points look like accessible doorways to players. Fixed an issue where an overload champion could spawn with the wrong name. Fixed an issue where the Fallen Walker and Fallen Briggs could respawn after they were defeated. Fixed an issue where physics was missing from a wall earlier in the strike, allowing players to get lost out of environment. Armor. Fixed an issue with the linear actuator exotic perk for the Titan exotic Dune Marchers, which was not triggering properly. The perk now behaves as expected, triggering on each subsequent melee strike after an appropriate amount of sprint time. Font of Might no longer displays a generic damage boost string when its benefits is active. Fixed a bug where the Mantle of Battle Harmony and Omnioculus exotics were not displaying their flavor texts. Omnioculus also no longer grants melee energy when making only yourself invisible under some circumstances. Cuirass of the Falling Star no longer grants an overshield when used with supers other than Thunder Crash. Weapons. Fixed an issue where flavor text wasn't appearing for several seasonal weapons. Added Rumble to the end of Dead Man's Tale Reload. Adjusted Risk Runner perk VFX that were causing epileptic issues. That's concerning. Reduced Arbalest aim assist, making it harder to hit headshots in Crucible. Thank you. Set the Frenzy and Cranial Spike perks to use the correct buff icons. Fix Tiku's Divination missing kill feed icon. After a few weeks of development and playtests, we've also had a round of Stasis Balancing slated for March 23rd. Stasis Tuning Preview for March 23rd patch. Hey everyone, gameplay team at Bungie here. We have made some targeted changes to Stasis in Season 12 and wanted to see how they landed before making any adjustments. Now that we've had several weeks of data to analyze, we're ready to make some further changes to address additional pain points of Stasis in PvP. Our goal with these changes is to reduce some of the frustrations when fighting against Stasis subclass in the Crucible, while maintaining their power and PvE content wherever possible. With that said, some changes required us to adjust the global behavior of some abilities. In the patch notes below, we've explicitly mentioned which changes affect Crucible functionality only. We'll be closely monitoring ability performance and feedback as Season 13 continues. Thank you for playing. We're excited to see how the future of Stasis unfolds. Hunter. Shatter Dive. Remove damage resistance from Shatter Dive. Added a 4-second cooldown between activations of Shatter Dive. Withering Blade. Decrease Withering Blade damage against players from 90 to 65 damage. PvE damage is unchanged. Decrease Withering Blade slow stacks applied to players from 60 to 40 stacks. PvE slow stacks are unchanged. Decrease the target acquisition range of Withering Blade as it impacts a player from 12 meters to 8 meters. Range after impacting PvE enemies is unchanged. Titan. Glacial Quake. Removed AoE freeze against players on Supercast. Will still freeze PvE enemies on cast. Reduce damage resistance while in Super from 60% to 50%. Increase the energy cost of using Shiver Strike while in Glacial Quake from 3 to 7% super energy. Using the combo of a Shiver Strike and a heavy slam attack will now cost the full super energy of both the Shiver Strike and the slam, previously only costed energy for the slam. Shiver Strike. Increase downward velocity applied to Shivering Strike players when they are slowed to pull them out of the air more strongly. Warlock. Winter's Wrath. Improved tracking of Winter's Wrath projectiles, now tracking strength decays from its max value over 10 seconds instead of 2.2. Increase the size of Warlock's super projectile proximity detonation radius 1.5 meters to 1.65. The proximity detonation now starts at its largest and scales down from 40% over time. Penumbral Blast. Decrease Penumbral Blast damage against players from 80 to 30. PvE damage is unchanged. Ice Flare Bolts. Fixed a bug where Ice Flare Bolts could continuously try to switch targets. Increase target acquisition range of Ice Flare Bolts by 33%. Increase turning speed of Ice Flare Bolts so they can more effectively hit nearby targets. Chaos Reach. Decrease the amount of super energy refunded when canceling Chaos Reach early. Big pain point here lately in PvP. General Duskfield Grenade. Reduce how strongly Duskfield Grenade pulls players inwards, effectively reducing the pull range from 9.5 to 6 meters. PvE pull impulse is unchanged. Reduce the slow stacks against applied players by the grenade detonation from 20 to 10 stacks. Detonation slow stacks are unchanged against PvE. Reduce the slow stacks applied to players on each tick of the grenade from 10 to 5 stacks. Per tick slow stacks are unchanged against PvE. Adjusted the UI presentation of the slow status to display slow stacks as X over 100 instead of X over 10 to increase readability when adding new stacks amounts that are fewer than 10. Stasis Crystals. Reduce crystal shatter damage against players from 85 max 55 men to 55 25 men. PvE damage is unchanged. Whisper of Change. Reduce Whisper of Change damage resistance bonus while in Super from 25 to 5%. Damage resistance when not in Super is unchanged. This only affects damage from other Guardians. Whisper of Torment. Fixed a bug where players could continuously proc Whisper of Torment while standing inside an opponent's barricade. Stasis Fragment Quest. Significantly reduce objective completion values for all Crucible Fragment quests. If any issues are found over the next week, contact Bungie Help. They do vote in herds. So if you guys weren't aware, we were voting monsters versus dinosaurs, and Team Dinosaurs have won. Those of you who wanted to see monsters, they do say that the monsters aren't gone forever, and we could get them in the future. So stay tuned there. Patch prep. Next week brings another update to Destiny 2, but for some Guardians in the States, you'll be setting your clocks forward an hour. So basically what this amounts to is the reset times is going to go up an hour. We spring forward in the spring. So instead of 11, it will be 12 o'clock Central. Adjust for your own time here in the United States. Update 3.1.1 maintenance time. So at 9 o'clock maintenance begins, and by 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, Destiny 2 maintenance will conclude. The complete list will be shared when the update goes live, so there could be some more changes there. Clan XP, as a result of testing being done on clans to help resolve an ongoing issue, Clan XP will be temporarily disabled on Tuesday, March 16th. During this time, Clan XP from all sources will be lost and won't count towards XP totals. The Presage scannables, so what this basically, they're trying to just make everybody aware that only certain scannables are available from week to week, so the other scannables will not be available. So if you don't get the ones that are available that week, no progress will be made. Here's the big news, Trials of Osiris. We have resolved an issue that prevented Trials of Osiris from being active in the past 2 weekends. Trials of Osiris would be re-enabled and active at the daily reset on Friday, March 12th. Very fluid situation though. If Trials gets launched on Friday and some shenanigans happen, we could see Trials canceled again. There's a bunch of known issues here that we won't go over. Movies of the week, artists of the week, definitely go to Bungie.net, check this stuff out. Always cool stuff. And let's see what we have to close with. Here we are, full year of working remotely. Last year, I said that our weekly TWAB installments have been helping to keep my head focused on what day it is, but I must admit, I find myself asking what year it is more often than not. It's been March for 12 months now, but I'm happy to say things are starting to get brighter with each passing day. Some more stuff about Grandmaster Fire teams. I hope you're able to form the similar bonds through clans and friendships found in the Destiny community. They don't come often, but when they do, they last a lifetime. Cheers, DMG. There is your TWAB here for the 11th of the month. If you have any questions, drop them down below. A like and a sub would be very much appreciated. Catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.